mysterious character with swagger, and Spencer Fox, a young actor, nails the energy of a hyperactive kid. Rounding out the cast is Elizabeth Pena, who adds warmth, and Wallace Shawn, whose quirky voice is instantly recognizable. Oh, and keep an ear out for John Ratzenberger, Pixar's good luck charm, who pops up in a small but memorable role. The chemistry among these actors makes the family feel real, like you're eavesdropping on their lives. Let's talk music because the score by Michael Giacchino is a character in itself. At just 27 years old, Giacchino crafted a jazzy retro soundtrack that screams 1960s spy flicks. Think James Bond meets Mission Impossible, but with a playful twist. The brass-heavy, upbeat score perfectly matches the film's blend of action and humor. Giacchino, who later scored hits like Up and Rogue One, got his big break with The Incredibles, and you can hear why. The music doesn't just support the story, it elevates it, making every chase, fight, and quiet moment feel epic. Now let's get into the animation itself, because this is where Pixar flexed its muscles. The Incredibles was groundbreaking for its time. Creating human characters that looked believable was a huge challenge. Unlike toys or fish, humans are tricky to animate. Get it wrong, and they look creepy. Pixar nailed it by designing characters with exaggerated, stylized features that feel both cartoonish and real. The attention to detail is insane. Hair moves naturally, clothes wrinkle realistically, and environments like jungles and cityscapes are bursting with color and texture. The film used cutting-edge tech for things like water effects, explosions, and dynamic lighting. Over 600 animators, artists, and technicians worked on this film, and their effort shows in every frame. The production wasn't without its challenges, though. Creating a superhero film in CG animation was uncharted territory. The team had to figure out how to make powers like super speed, elasticity, and force fields look convincing. They also had to balance action with quieter, emotional moments. Brad Bird pushed his team to think outside the box, often sketching ideas himself to show exactly what he wanted. The result? A film that feels like a live-action blockbuster, but with the charm and creativity only animation can deliver. Let's talk about the world of The Incredibles. The film is set in a retro-futuristic version of the 1960s with a vibe that's part comic book, part mid-century modern. Think sleek cars, bold colors, and a touch of nostalgia. The story follows a family of superheroes in a world where being super isn't always welcome. It explores themes of identity, family, and standing out in a society that wants you to blend in. Without giving anything away, I'll say the plot keeps you guessing with twists, turns, and plenty of heart. It's a story about finding your place in the world, and it resonates whether you're 10 or 100. Another reason to watch? The humor. The Incredibles is laugh-out-loud funny, with witty dialogue and clever visual gags. Whether it's the parents bickering about everyday life or the kids getting into mischief, the comedy feels natural and never forced. There's also a scene-stealing character, a pint-sized fashion icon who's equal parts hilarious and unforgettable. Trust me, you'll be quoting their lines for weeks. The film runs for 115 minutes, which feels just right. It's long enough to dive deep into the characters and their world, but fast-paced enough to keep you hooked. It's rated PG, so it's great for families, though there's enough depth to keep adults engaged. The action scenes are thrilling, but never too intense for younger viewers, and the emotional moments are handled with care. Let's talk awards, because The Incredibles cleaned up. It won 2 Oscars, Best Animated Feature and Best Sound Editing. It was also nominated for Best Original Screenplay and Best Sound Mixing. The film nabbed a slew of other awards, including a BAFTA, a Golden Globe nomination, and multiple Annie Awards for animation. Critics loved it, with a 97% approval rating on Rotten Tomatoes. Audiences adored it too, praising its heart, humor, and originality. It's no wonder it's still considered one of Pixar's best. The cultural impact of The Incredibles can't be overstated. It came out at a time when superhero movies were just starting to dominate Hollywood. Spider-Man 2 was released the same year, and the Marvel Cinematic Universe was still a few years away. The Incredibles proved that superheroes could appeal to all ages and that animation could tell sophisticated stories. It inspired a generation of filmmakers and remains a benchmark for the genre. If you're wondering about the tech side, the film was made using Pixar's proprietary software, RenderMan, which gave it that polished, cinematic look. It took 4 years to complete, with a team of over 800 people working on everything from storyboarding to final rendering. The attention to detail is mind-blowing. Every button, every strand of hair, every shadow was carefully crafted. This was one of the first films to use digital doubles for complex action scenes, a technique now common in live-action films. Why should you watch The Incredibles? Because it's more than a movie. It's an experience. It's a love letter to superheroes, family, and the power of being yourself. It's got action that rivals any blockbuster, humor that'll make you snort, and a story that'll tug at your heartstrings. Whether you're watching it for the first time or the 10th, it feels fresh every time. Plus, the animation holds up even today, looking just as vibrant as it did in 2004.